Well, happy Friday to everybody. Haven't quite got back on the normal routine yet, just coming off the holiday and whatnot. But we're going to get there. We are at the next to last game on June the 6th, 1987. We're in the state of California. It is the Chicago White Sox taking on the California Angels. Both teams enter the game with a 500 record and tied for second place in the American League West. Chicago 25 and 25, California 27 and 27. We are in Anaheim Stadium, where it's symmetrical. Singles are 1-5 for both, and home runs 1-12 for both. Starting pitching matchup for both teams: two good pitchers. Mike Witt for the Angels, who comes into the game with a 6-2 record on the replay, and Rich Dotson, who comes into the game with a 5-3 record for his replay. They are both also excellent at holding runners, combined with their catchers. They both have a -5 hold rating. There's a lot of symmetry in this game. Both pitchers have wild pitch ratings of 5 with balk ratings of 0, and both catchers have pass ball ratings of 3. So, similar symmetry here. In the real game, California beat Chicago 2-1 in 10 innings, and Mike Witt pitched all 10 innings in the game. Dotson pitched all 9 innings. Then he turned it over to Bob James in the 10th, and Rupert Jones hit a walk-off home run to win the game 2-1. That's what happened in the real world. So if they pitch well, we could be seeing a double complete game again, or very close to that. Hello, Kenyon, Dr. D, Action, and Dan. Good to see all of you. Hope you're doing well on this Friday. It's still hard. I still can't get my head around it's 2026. I don't write. Most bills I pay online are pretty much just auto drafted or whatever. But one bill I do write a check for is our water bill, and the little county building, the water company building or whatever, is on the same street that our landfill is, where I take our trash every Saturday. So it's very easy for me just to write the check, drop it in their drop box as I'm taking the trash to the dump, and it kind of makes it very, very easy. So, but it is the one thing I actually write a physical check for. So I will have to remember to put 26 on the check this time around, because the payment's due January 14th. So I'll probably take it this Saturday. Tomorrow, most likely, I'll take it and drop it off, just because I don't like to wait around. But I will have to remember to put 26 on it, not 25. So it was the old days when I used to write checks for everything. Now, print with everything digitized, very few check writing going on. The fact that I even write a check is probably making me look archaic. But anyway. All right. So Mike Witt, real season, 16 and 14 with a 4.01 earned run average. On the replay, he is 6-2 with a 4.03 earned run average. So pretty close right there, 4.01 to 4.03. He's pretty much doing what he's supposed to be doing, I imagine. And leading things off will be Daryl Boston of the White Sox. For whatever reason, I guess just to give him a day off, the Angels do not have Downing in the lineup. And one thing I noticed on the score sheet that I did mess up when I was pre-filling this, Mark Ryle is actually the DH in this game, not the left fielder. So I meant to fix that before I hit the stream button, forgot to do it. So let me get this little messy stuff out of the way. Ryle is your DH, and Rupert Jones is in left field. And as I was frantically putting in the lineups, I forgot and put him in his left field when he should have been DH. So that's the one little snafu there. Got that hopefully taken care of. And now we're ready to play some ball. That is true, Dan. Very, very true. 5s and 6s look very, very close together. Good morning, Jeff. Hope you are doing well on this Friday, January 2nd, 2026. And before we get going with the first pitch, of course, it requires a ceremonial first sip. That's like a tradition now. And Jeff, that is good coffee. All right. With that out of the way, we're ready to go. Daryl Boston. On the replay, Boston is hitting 285. 285. Some of these numbers on the Strat computer are very small. Hard to see sometimes. 285, 6 over 17 driven in. He hit 258 real world. We're underway. 5-7 lefty. Ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Schofield. Very dependable shortstop. 2E12. 2E12. 2 and a 7. So the double die wasn't too evil on that one. 2 and a 7 should be doable, you would think. 2 and a 7 is a G2. That's a 14. Schofield is an E12. So shortstop E12. There's a 15 there, but no 14. So Schofield is able to make the play. And he retires Darrell Boston to start the ball game. Good morning, the Phils fan. It's a new name. Welcome aboard if it's your first time here. All right, here's Gary Reedus. Reedus is hitting 247, 4 homers, 13 driven in. He hit 236 in the real season. That's a 3-7, and that is a strikeout for Gary Reedus. First strikeout for Mike Witt. Again, Mike Witt pitched all 10 innings in the real game, so he definitely has the fatigue to do it. Here's Harold Baines, the designated hitter. 267, a homer and 14 driven in. He's a little low on his power. He's only got 1 home run so far. He hit 20 real world, and he's about 25% of his way through his at-bats. So he's definitely not showing the power rating just yet. That's a little bit of a leaner, but I'll go ahead and knock it down and let it count. 4-9, and that's a 1 for a triple. Anything else will be a double. So it's a double for Harold Baines. Double for Harold Baines. It was close enough that I didn't feel too bad about just knocking that down flat and letting it count. All right, here's Greg Walker. 235, 4 homers, 21 driven in on the replay, 256 real world. First havoc roll of the game, and nothing happening. So here's Walker. 6-3, and that's going to be a fly ball to right field X. We are looking at Devon White. He's a 1, so we know he's going to get up to it. We're just waiting to see if he catches it or not or makes an error. He's an E9. The only way an E9 makes an error is on an 11, 16, 3, or 18. Any of those 4 numbers will be an error. Anything else, he makes the catch. And that is a 17. So he's going to barely avoid that. 16 and 18 would have been errors. We got a 17, so Devon White saves a run there by making that play. And we go to the bottom of the first. It is Chicago nothing, and the Angels coming to bat. And Rich Dotson, on the real season, he was 11 and 12 with a 4.17 earned run average. On the replays, doing much better ERA-wise. He is 5 and 3, but an ERA of 2.61. He just hasn't been getting a lot of run support, but he's been pitching well. And he's going to start off facing Gary Pettis, the speedster. Pettis on the replay hitting 242, no homers, 17 driven in. He hit 208 real world. Switch hitter. 6-8, and that's going to be a 1-6 single. That's a 17, so he's going to line it to second base, and it's a good idea for Dotson to keep the speedy Pettis off the bases, which he just did. 1 away for Devon White. Made that nice catch to end the first. White on the replay hitting 280, 9 homers, 33 driven in. He hit 263 real world. Another switch hitter. 3-4, that's a ground ball to first. Walker will just take it to the bag himself. And there's 2 away. Again, the real game was 2-1 in 10 innings. So it went 1-1 after 9. So we're not going to expect a lot of runs here if it holds true to form. Here's Wally Joyner hitting 307 on the replay. 14 homers, 33 driven in. He hit 285 real world. It's 1-6, and he's going to strike him out. First strikeout for Dotson. And both teams go rather meekly in the first. Baines did get the double, but that was it. We go to the second, no score. From California, I guess it was called Anaheim Stadium back in '87. Angel Stadium, something or other. Strat Computer is calling it Anaheim Stadium, so I don't know. All right, here's Ivan Calderon, right fielder. He's hitting 281 on the replay, 7 homers, 20 driven in. He had 293 real world. 6-8, and that's going to be a split. 1-6 is a single, 7-20 he lines out. That's a 20. So Calderon will line it to Schofield. And there is out number 1. Brings up the veteran Carlton Fisk. Fisk on the replay, hitting 273. 6 homers, 19 driven in. He hit 256 on the real season. 5-7 is a ground ball shortstop X. Again, we're looking at Schofield. Again, reliable, 2E12. 2 and a 6 should be no problem for Mr. Schofield. 2 and a 6 is a G2. That's an 11, and he's an E12. So, again, 15, 3, and 18, the only errors that Schofield has to worry about. So, Schofield will make the play. 2 up and 2 down. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Jerry Royster. Royster on the replay, hitting 276. 3 homers, 8 driven in. He hit 265 real world. 3-4, and that's a ground ball to short, and Schofield will take care of that as well. He's been busy over there. He's a part of all 3 outs in that inning. We go to the bottom of the second, still no score from the Big A. And Dotson will come back out. He'll be facing third baseman Jack Howell. The Angels also giving not only Downey the day off, but they're giving DeSensei the day off. So a couple starters are not in there for the Angels. They got Jack Howell at third and Rupert Jones or Mark Ryle rather as a DH. So here's Jack Howell. He's hitting 264 on the replay, 5 homers, 19 driven in. He at 245 real world. 3-5, and that's a 1-19 home run, and that is gone. It's not clean, Jeff, but it's gone. 3-5, home run 1-19, and that's a 4. So Jack Howell had just given the Angels a 1-0 lead with a solo home run. The 3-5 is a 1-19 home run, and that's a 4. For Jack Howell, home run number 6, RBI number 20 on the replay. And the Angels grab a 1-0 lead. And that deserves a sip of coffee. So Jack Howell subbing for DeSensei, and he comes in and hits a home run. 1-0 Angels. And that brings up the designated hitter, Mark Ryle. Hitting 273 on the replay, 6 homers, 14 driven in, just 33 at-bats, though. But he didn't have that many at-bats. He had 100 at-bats and hit 200. So sparse duty, 3-7, and he will strike out. Strikeout number 2 for Dotson. 1 away for Rupert Jones, and like I said, in the real game, he hit the walk-off home run at the bottom of the 10th. I believe it was the first batter that Bob James faced in relief. So it was like first leadoff batter at the bottom of the 10th, and he homered. Jones on the replay hitting 196, 4 homers, 7 driven in. He hit 245 real world. 3-7, and that's another strikeout for Dotson, his third, as he comes back from the home run with a couple of strikeouts. Brings up Dick Schofield, shortstop. Schofield hitting 235, 3 homers, 20 driven in. He hit 251 real world. 6-8, and that's going to be a 1-9 single. That's an 18, so he will line it to short to end the inning. But the home run off the bat of Jack Howell is giving the Angels a 1-0 lead as we go to the third. Top of the third, Mike Witt will face Hewlett, Guillen, and Boston. Both these teams are tied for second place, 3 games behind the first place A's. So the winner is going to be feeling good about trying to catch those A's, and the loser is going to feel like they let a game slip away. Here's Hewlett hitting 231 on the replay, 4 homers, 17 driven in. He hit 217 real world. 1-7 for Hewlett is a strikeout. So Mike Witt gets strikeout number 2. And that'll bring up Ozzie Guillen. Guillen, the shortstop, number 9 hitter, hitting 290 on the replay, a homer, 19 driven in. He at 279 real world. 4-6, and that's going to be another strikeout for Mike Witt, his third. And that'll flip the order over to Daryl Boston. Good morning. Good morning to you, Dave. 09. Boston grounded to short his first trip, 110, and this time it's a ballpark blast for Daryl Boston. It's 1-12, but that's an 18. So just a deep fly to Devon White in right field. He just got up under it and just missed, tying the ball game. So a long fly ball out for Boston, and that will end the top of the third. We go to the bottom of the third, still 1-0 Halos. Bottom of the order to do up for the Angels. It'll be Boone, McLemore, and Pettis. The veteran Bob Boone hitting 171 on the replay and just 76 at bats. He had been injured early on in the real season. He does get 389 at bats and hits 242, so he's got time to turn it around. 3-7 might do it here. 1-5 is a double. Nope, 16 is going to be a fly to the left, so won't turn it around on that at bat. He flies out to Ritas in left field for 1 away. 1 down, and that's going to send up second baseman Mark McLemore. He's hitting 264 on the replay, 3 homers, 20 driven in. He hit 236 real season. 5-7, switch hitter batting left-handed. That's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Ozzie Guillen. He's a 2E21. 2 and an 8 should be no problem. 2 and an 8 is a G2. Now we check the error. E21. There's a 5, so we know it's a G2 and it's a 5, so it's a rare play. But nobody on base, so there's not going to be too much rare about it. It's a G2, and we don't have to worry about whether it makes an error or not because it's a rare play. So G2 and a 5, and I don't even got to figure out what I did with my little hybrid. Oh, here it is over here. But I don't believe even my homebrew rare plays are going to come into play without people on base. See, it says if run on first. See, there's not run on first, so it doesn't matter. It's just a ground out. These rare plays don't really take effect unless there's somebody on base. So it's just going to be a simple ground out to short. You get the rare play going when you got guys on base. Here's Gary Pettis. He lined to second his first trip. It's a 3-6 for Pettis, and he's going to draw a base on balls, and this is interesting. He likes to run, but it's a -5 hold. So it'll be down to a 1-12, but he's still stubborn. He's still going to try it. Try to get in scoring position with 2 outs. So to get the good lead, needs a 5 or a 6. Does not. That's a 1. He might be picked off. 13 is his safe number. So 1 to 13, he gets back. 14 or higher, he is picked off. He gets back, but he cannot get the lead now. Cannot establish the lead. He got sent back to first, and now he can't go anywhere. So here's Devon White. 6-8, switch hitter. 1 to 6 is a single. That's a 17. He lines to second, and that will end the inning. So they get the walk to Pettis, but nothing else becomes of it. And after 3 complete, score remains California 1 and Chicago nothing. We go to the top of the 4th. It'll be Ritas, Baines, and Walker for the Sox. Good morning, Kathy. We do have a trivia question at the top of the next inning. Let's see. Ritas, first time up, struck out. 5-9, and that's a split chance. 1 to 4 is a single, but that's a 6. So it is another line out to short. Strat likes those line outs for sure. Get a bunch of them. Here's Harold Baines. He doubled for the only hit of the game for the White Sox. 4-9, and he's going to get another double. 11 is going to make it a 220 double. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he rolled a 4-9 the first time he came to the plate. So I think this is a duplicate here where he's hit the same roll twice. So it's back-to-back doubles for Harold Baines. And that's going to bring up Greg Walker. Walker flew to right his first chance. Uh, 6-6. Oops. 6-6 struck him out. That's 2 away, and that's strikeout number 4 for Witt. Strikeout number 4 for Witt, and here is Calderon. Calderon in a clutch situation because the runner is at second base. So in the clutch, look at this. He loses 3 hits. 1-8, 1-10, and 1-11 are all outs. Talk about Mr. Anti-Clutch. Calderon is anti-clutch according to Strat. 5-6, and that's going to be a strikeout, so it doesn't matter either way. Witt gets strikeout number 5. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 1-0. Dr. D, I will show the my homebrew beta versions at the top half of the next inning while Kathy is typing in her trivia questions. I'll put them on the screen and people can look at them, take a snapshot of them, whatever you want to do. They're in beta version, just things I came up with to try to be more creative than what's on those Strat-O-Matic rare plays, which it doesn't take much to be more creative than Strat-O-Matic. I'll just put it out point blank. Just telling it like it is. Here's Joyner, 6'9", and that's going to be a fly to center. One away. Best creativity Strat did was make the game. After that, they kind of crapped the bed the rest of the way. Haven't been much creativity since the 60s, to be quite honest with you. But that's okay. We like old school. So here's Jack Howell. He homered his first time. 3-9, and this time he'll draw the base on balls. And that is walk number 2 issued by Mr. Dotson. Howell, not any threat to run. Here's Ryle. He struck out his first chance. For 8, and it's going to be another base on balls. So back-to-back walks by Dotson. Very unusual for him to start having control issues. But it's first and second, 1 out for Rupert Jones. Jones, a strikeout victim his first time up. Uh, 2-10, and that's going to be a single to right field. Howell doesn't run well, and Calderon's got a -1 arm, so they will put the brakes on and just load the bases. And Kathy, it's happening to you again right before a trivia question. The half inning prior tends to go long. Makes your trivia question go cold. I don't know why it happens. It just does. Bases loaded, 1 out. Dick Schofield, the batter, infield looking for the double play. 3-7. Oh, they almost got it. 3-6 would have been the double play. 3-7's a strikeout. I guess they'll take that too. So Dotson gets strikeout number 4. The bases remain loaded with 2 outs. It is now a clutch situation for Bob Boone. And let's see, in the clutch for Boone, he loses a hit on 3-8. Everywhere else he is rated as average. We get a 3-11, and that's a ground ball to third, and that will end the inning as Royster makes the play. And they leave the bases loaded to the Angels. That might come back to bite them. You never can tell. So we go to the top of the 5th with the score still 1-0 California. And if you turn your attention to the chat box, Kathy will have a trivia question for you. And I will show this rare play as much as I can anyway, just so you can see what some of the options are for that. All right, the trivia question. He was the first player to have 100-plus RBIs in 3 consecutive seasons playing for a different team each season. That's interesting. You get 100 RBIs and get traded a couple times. Or maybe it was free agent. I don't know. But that is unusual to get that many RBIs and move around from team to team. That could be anything. That is a thought-provoking question. So anyway, if you want to look at it, there you go. That's best I can do for you on that. Let's see. We got a guess of Juan Soto by action. I know he played for the Nationals, the Padres, Yankees, and Mets. He kind of moved all over the place, so that's as good a guess as any. We'll see if that is accurate or whether we still need to guess. Mike Witt, his fatigue is the 7th, and so is Dotson. Remember, in the real game, they both pitched over 9 innings. In fact, Witt went the whole 10, so I don't think fatigue is going to be a big issue for him. Haven't heard anything, seen anything from Kathy yet to see if that Soto guess is correct or not, or whether there's still an opportunity to guess again as I drop one of my D6s. All right. Maybe need more coffee or something. I don't know. Something got my throat there. All right, so we go to the top of the 6th. It'll be Carlton Fisk. Teams were Cleveland, San Diego, and Toronto. Okay. Carlton Fisk, 2-9. 2-9 for Fisk is a walk. Oops, how did my pen get weird? Messed up there. So that's a walk for Witt. That's the first walk he has issued all game long, and it comes to Carlton Fisk. So we got to guess a Joe Carter. That sounds reasonable. I remember Joe Carter playing for all those teams. So that does sound reasonable. I believe Joe Carter might be correct. Yes, it is. Yeah, the hint kind of gave it away, but without the hint, we probably would have never gotten it. That's the bad part about trivia. You want to give a hint, but you don't want to give it away, but sometimes it's impossible to give a hint without giving it away. All right, here's Royster. So Joe Carter was the answer. All right, Joe Carter. Jerry Royster, the batter now. Fisk at first, 6-4. Fly to center. Hauled in out there by Pettis, 1 away. And that'll take us to Timmy Hewlett, second baseman. And Hewlett struck out first chance. 2-7, and that's another strikeout. So he strikes out again. Strikeout number 6 for Mike Witt. And that'll bring up Ozzie Guillen. He struck out his first time up. 3-9, and this time he grounds it to second. Easy play for McLemore. And easy inning for Mike Witt. So we go to the bottom of the 5th, still 1-0. Remember, the real game was 2-1 in 10 innings. So this is kind of following that pattern, at least to this point. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Mark McLemore, your leadoff man. He grounded to short first time up. That is a 2-8. And that's a single. Single for McLemore. He would like to run, but again, that -5 is kind of a deterrent, but he's going to try it anyway to get that lead. Needs a 4, 5, or a 6. Doesn't get it, so it's a moot point. Here's Pettis. You would think Pettis would be a better bunter, but he's only listed as a C bunter. So they're just going to have him swing away. 111, and that's a ballpark single check, 1-5, but that's a 7. So he flies to right field. Out number 1. And that brings up Devon White. He's 0 for 2. .38 for White. 1-13 is a single. That's an 8. Base hit, 1 star. Puts runners at first and second. With 1 out for Wally World. Wally Joyner. Chance to maybe break this game open and give his Angels a comfortable lead. 5-6. Ground ball second base C. That'll get the runners to second and third, but now there are 2 away. Now they're 2 away. It is now a clutch situation for Jack Howell, who's already homered in the game. He's also walked. In the clutch for Howell, he will lose a hit on 2-7, and that appears to be the only place. So other than 2-7, he is rated as neutral for clutch. 3-9, and that's a walk. He's going to walk again to load the bases. And that is the 4th walk issued by Dotson to go with his 4 strikeouts. So he's got 4 walks and 4 strikeouts in 5 innings. Bases are now loaded for Mark Ryle. And he's not rated in the clutch, I don't believe. I don't think he had enough at bats to be rated in the clutch. His card is neutral everywhere, so no clutch factor for him. Bases are loaded with 2 outs. That's a 3-10, and that's a ground ball to second. Easy play for Hewlett. And the Angels will leave the bases loaded. Boy, that's the second time in a row they'd left the bases loaded in the 4th. They leave them loaded again here in the 5th. So by my count, they have now left 7 runners on base, where Chicago's only left 3 on base. So that could definitely come back to bite them. We go to the top of the 6th. Still a 1-0 ball game. The home run from Howell has stood the test of time. My coffee is starting to get cool, so there will be a 7th inning stretch break to heat coffee in the next inning or so. Right now, we start the top of the 6th with the top of the order, Darryl Boston. He is 0 for 2. That's a 5-5, left-handed, and that's a ground ball to second. McLemore will take care of it, 1 away. If you came for offense, it looks like you might have come to the wrong game. If you like pitching and defense, you may be happy. Here's Gary Reedus. He's 0 for 2. 5-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. That's the reliable Schofield, 2E12. 2-17 is good all day long, but that 15 might be a little troublesome. We'll check it out. E12, and that's a 15. Oops. Get my fielding stuff here. E12 and a 15 for a shortstop. E12, there's a 15 right there. So I thought that number looked a little ominous, and it certainly was. Schofield booted it. Routine play, and Schofield just lost concentration a bit. So it's E6 on Schofield. First error of the game on either team. And Reedus will be on base, and he's a threat to run. Hello, Jimmy Jam. Good to see you. So Reedus, to get the lead, needs a 2 through 6. Does not get the lead. He will hold. And here's Harold Baines. He's 2 for 2, and this is 2 doubles. 2 for 2, 2 doubles for Harold Baines, both times on the 4-9 result. So Witt's going to try to move off this 4-9 result if possible. 4-8, boy, talk about he's not catching any breaks here. 4-8 is going to be a 1-5, that's a 9, so it won't be 2 consecutive doubles. It'll be a single, 2 stars, and that'll put runners at the corners. It's uncanny, I should say. Harold Baines has had 3 at-bats. The first 2 were 4-9 rolls. This is a 4-8 roll. So that's really weird with Harold Baines getting those rolls that are exactly identical, just about. So first real threat for the White Sox. Runners on the corners and 1 out for Greg Walker. Infield is playing for that double play. Try to get out of the inning. Nobody's being held on base. That's a 4-7, and that's a ground ball second base X, so they might get that double play. 2E22. If the D20 is cooperative, we could have a double play to end the inning. 2E22. 2 and a 6, though. That's iffy. May not get that double play. We'll take a look. Nobody's being held on, so at least the pound signs won't take effect. 2-6 is going to be a G2 pound, so there won't be a double play, but at least he will make the play. The run's going to score, but he will make the play. Had he been playing the infield end, that would have been a base hit. So at least playing back, they at least get the out, assuming there's no error, and there's a 10 there, so I don't think there's an error on E22 and a 10. There is not. So it's a G2. So they get the fielder's choice, but Reedus will score to tie the game. It's an unearned run. They get the 4-6 fielder's choice on Walker. RBI ground out for Greg Walker, and we got a 1-1 tie with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. And here's Ivan Calderon. That's a 1-6 for Calderon. 1 is a triple. Anything else would be a double. 10 is a double. Question is, will Walker score? The double is assumed to go to center field when it's not listed. And in this case, it is not listed. So center fielder is Pettis, who does have a +1 arm, so that will help. Walker's an 11. He's not being held, makes him a 12. There are 2 outs, makes him a 14. The +1 makes him a 15. That's obviously enough to send him home. So they will throw home. And on the throw home, Calderon would take third on the throw. But it's a 1-15 to take the lead. And they throw him out at the plate. Wow, what a relay there from Pettis to Schofield. They will get Walker out at the plate 8-6-2. So the double does not break the tie. Calderon doubles, but they get the lead dog. Again, a nice play there from Pettis to Schofield. And the block of the plate by Boone keeps this game a 1-1 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 6th. It was an unearned run, but it still counts all the same. Bottom of the 6th we go. Dotson back out, and he'll be facing Rupert Jones, Schofield, and Boone. 1-1, bottom of the 6th. 4-10, fly ball center field X. That is going to be Boston. He's a 3E4. 3-17 is good. E4 and a 6 shouldn't be a problem. Wouldn't think. Nope, no problem at all. So Boston makes the play. 1 away. Calderon would take third on the throw, but it's the end of the inning, so it doesn't matter. It's third out, so it doesn't matter. But yes, he did take third on the throw. Here's Schofield. 4-9, and that's going to be a base on balls. Dotson with his 5th base on balls. That's been his one little bugaboo, is giving up these walks. Schofield looking to run, perhaps. Needs a 4 or a 5 to get a lead. Does not get it. That brings up Bob Boone. 5-5, and that's a fly ball center field. There's a dot there, but Dotson's not tired yet. So the play will be made by Darryl Boston. 2 down for McLemore. McLemore is 1 for 2. 5-8, switch hitter batting left. 5-8, 1-6 is a double. 7-20 is a single. It's a single 2 stars. And that'll put runners on the corners with 2 outs. And move it over to Gary Pettis in a clutch situation for Pettis. Pettis in the clutch will lose a hit on 112 and 310 and 26 and 3-4. So he's got 4 anti-clutches. 4 anti-clutch results for Pettis. 3-5, and he's going to strike out. So that's going to end the inning. Strikeout number 5 for Dotson to go with his 5 walks. And again, the Angels leave 2 more runners on base. They have been leaving runners on base left and right. And that's why the game is tied instead of them in the lead. Hello, Mr. Little. Happy New Year to you. I don't know if you saw my video, Dave, on the Mr. Little, on my Strat getting it right, giving me the finally getting the extra players sent to me correctly with the right extra players so that I can get my Demolition League started on Saturday. But now I have the extra players to do it with. So kudos to Strat for that. Although I am a little bit underwhelmed about their selections for the season offerings this year. I don't know anybody's clamoring for 52 or 85. Certainly, in my opinion, 75 or 79 would have been much more popular and probably sold much better. But who knows? Maybe they'll prove me wrong. Yeah, the coffee is definitely getting a little cool. So there will be a 7th inning stretch at the bottom of the 7th for sure to heat up the coffee. All right, here's Carlton Fisk. He is 0 for 1 with a walk. 1-1 tie right now, 1-5, and that's a ground ball to short. Schofield will take care of it. And this is going just like the real game. It was 1-1 after 9 innings in the real game. And then California won at the bottom of the 10th on a Rupert Jones homer with Mike Witt pitching all 10 innings. So yeah, Jimmy Jam, I was worried because it said that it was coming between 1:30 and 4:30 or something like that. And then once it got to 4:30 and it wasn't here, it switched over to end of the day. And the last time that happened to me, I got it 2 days later. But this time they delivered it like it's 7 at night. So I was pleasantly surprised, and that's why I ran up and did the unbox or unbagging, or whatever you want to call it. I was so happy to get it. It was so unexpected. I was expecting the worst. 1-6, and that's a walk. So Witt will issue the free pass, and for Mike Witt, that's only his 2nd walk he has issued. Royster Could try to get the lead, but boy, he'd be down to a 1-8. So it would not make sense to try to get a lead there. Hewlett. I just think if they came out with 75 or 70, especially 75, if they came out with 75 and 79, you would be hearing all kinds of rumblings. I don't think people were waiting with bated breath for the 85 season. I could be wrong, but I just don't. I mean, it just came out with 84 and 86. So to me, filling those gaps on the 70s, because that's where the age group of these players are, is their prime time is going to be in the 70s. So, all right, here's Hewlett. But maybe I'm off on that. I don't know. Maybe I'll get surprised and there'll be a big uproar and you know, party hardy over the 85 season. I don't know. 6-6, and that's going to be a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he's not tired yet. That is strikeout number 7 for Mike Witt. Mike Witt trying to get through this. Here's Ozzie Guillen. Of course, there will be a 7th inning stretch after this final out of the inning because my coffee has gone pretty much room temperature at this point. Guillen, 2-8. 1 for a double. Anything else will be a single. It's 2 stars. That'll put runners on the corners with 2 outs. And again, another scoring opportunity is presenting itself. And it's going to be Darryl Boston in the clutch. Darryl Boston loses a hit on 2-7 and on 3-8. So he's got 2 anti-clutch chances. Guillen is at first, but will not try to steal. They don't want to take the bat out of Boston's hands. 2-7, but you might as well, because look at this. That's a single, but it's anti-clutch. So he hit right into the anti-clutch right there. 2-7, but there's the Omega symbol right there. So that will turn it into a pop out to second. And talk about literally failing in the clutch. It was Darryl Boston. He fails in the clutch. And the White Sox get turned away. So we will go to the 7th inning stretch. And I will go heat my coffee. When we get back, it'll be the heart of the order for the Angels, White, Joyner, and Howell. They will be the scheduled hitters. And then we'll get this game continuing. But right now, you can enjoy the 7th inning stretch break. Give me a chance to walk downstairs and literally stretch myself. And for you guys, you can enjoy Take Me Out to the Ball Game, which I haven't done a 7th inning stretch in a while, so it's about time. So I'll be right back in about 2 minutes as I heat my coffee. And we have the 7th inning stretch. All right, 7th inning stretch is complete, and the coffee has been warmed. I didn't top it off. I just took what I had and heated it for 30 seconds. So that should get me by for the rest of the game, you would think, would hope. And we will start off with Devon White. White is 1 for 3. And this is also the fatigue inning for Dotson. Keep an eye on that. 3-10 for Devon White. And that will be a fly ball to right field. One away. And that brings up Wally World. He is 0 for 3. Is Mr. Joyner. 5-5, and he's going to be 0 for 4 as he flies to center field, and Darryl Boston makes the play. 2 up and 2 down. Dotson looking to keep full endurance into the 8th. Here's Jack Howell. He's been responsible for the only run of the game with a home run. He's also walked twice. 1-4, and this time he grounds it right back to Dotson. So Dotson will keep full endurance into the 8th inning. And the real world, both of these guys went the distance, except for Dotson. He went 9 and the game went extra innings, but he went 9 and Witt went 10. And it was 2-1 in extra innings. So not unexpected to see what we have here. Top of the 8th. And Reedus will lead it off against Mike Witt. 4-5, and that's going to be a strikeout for Witt. And that is strikeout number 8 for Mr. Witt. 1 away, and here is Harold Baines. He is 3 for 3 for the White Sox. He has 3 of their 5 hits. He's found 4-9 twice and 4-8 once. So Mike Witt is definitely hoping to get off this 4 column. He didn't do it again. 4-11. This time, though, it's a ground ball first base X, so they got a chance to get him out. Walker's a 3E10. 3E10. 3 and a 5. That's going to be close. I think he'll get him, though. 3 and a 5. He barely. G3. Nobody's on base, so the pound's irrelevant. So G3. That's an 8. And he is an E10. There is no 8 there, so nice play by Joyner. I was looking at Walker. It should have been like Joyner. Joyner's a 1E11, so I know he can't make an error with a 1. An 11, and that is an 8. I don't think that's a problem. Oh, it is a problem. Boy, did I mess that up. Ooh, good thing I corrected that. It was actually Joyner in the field. He's a 1E11, and that E11 produces an error. Wow. Almost really had a snafu there, but look at it again. Joyner is the first baseman. He's a 1E11. And boy, that 8 with the E11 is the error on Joyner. So how about that second error of the game on the Angels by 2 usually reliable fielders? So Baines will reach again, this time the error. Of course, he is no threat to run. And here's Greg Walker. That's a 1-9 for Walker, and that's a walk. So Mike Witt getting close to fatigue. Keep an eye on this. Hasn't reached it yet, according to the Strat computer, but he's getting close. Of course, he went all 10 innings in real world, so I'll give him a little bit of leeway. Here's Calderon. That's a 2. Chance for balk or pass ball. We're looking at a balk chance on Mike Witt, but he has a 0 balk rating. 5 wild pitch and a 0 balk, so he cannot balk. Calderon. 1-7, and there's going to be the tiebreaker right here. 1-7 is going to be a 1-18 double. It's 2 stars, and this might do it for Witt. That error was really the killer for Mike Witt. Stopping at third base is going to, because of the 2 stars on the result, is Walker. But the White Sox take a 2-1 lead, and Mike Witt is now tired. Carlton Fisk is your batter. Do you take a chance and let him pitch tired? Or do you get the bullpen? Well, they got the bullpen loosening. But I think they're going to give Witt a chance to at least face one more batter and see if he can get out of this. The infield will have to come in now. It's second and third and 1 out. So the infield will have to come in. It's now a 2-1 game, White Sox. Infield in. 1-4, and that's a fly ball center field B question mark. Chance for a tag up. Walker not the fastest though, but they still might try it because Pettis has a +1 arm. So on a fly ball center field B question mark, you take the running rating, add 2 to it, and then add it or subtract it from the fielder. He's an 11. You add 2, makes it a 13, plus the 1's a 14. So 1 to 14, we will have a sacrifice fly. And we do. It's a sacrifice fly to center field by Fisk. Yet another unearned run coming in. And it is now 3-1 for Jerry Royster. Clutch situation with Calderon at second. In the clutch, he loses hits on 1-2, 110, and 210, and on 310. Witt trying to get through the inning. 2-7, and 1-5 is a single. That's the double dies a 1, but it's only 1 star on the single. And they may just have to pull Witt right now. It looks like he's at his wit's end with all these errors and stuff going on. So I believe that's going to do it for Mike Witt. They're gonna have to make that move because it's getting too risky now. So Witt will leave, and they will bring in the Moon Man, Greg Minton, to come in and pitch. They let Witt go as long as they could. They were trying to get him through the inning, just couldn't quite do it. He goes 7 2/3, and we'll fill out the rest at the end. Hello, Joel. Good to see you. So new pitcher coming in for the Angels will be Greg Minton, known as the Moon Man back in the day. Actually, no, Minton is tired. I'm not going to use Minton. He was overused last time, so we got to find somebody else. So let me get Minton out of here and pull in somebody else. I don't want to use somebody that's tired. So we have to come up with somebody else. Looks like it's going to be Dwayne Bice instead. So they'll go with Bice. Maybe he's Bice is nice. I don't know. Dwayne Bice. Bice will bring him on. He's got rest. He's not tired. So Bice on the real season, 6-7 with a 3.39 ERA and 17 saves. He became the closer there for a while. In the replays, 4-1 with a 2.86 ERA and 3 saves. So he's pitched well in both the real season and in the replay. And right now, he is up there to face Tim Hewlett in a clutch situation. Hewlett in the clutch gains a hit on 3-2, and that's it. Everywhere else he's neutral. Hello, Tribe fan. 1, we'll see what Bice's wild pitch rating is, because a wild pitch would produce a run. Bice wild pitch rating is a 5. No wild pitch. Here's the pitch to Hewlett. 3-5. That's a ground ball to short, and that'll end the inning. So Bice gets out of the rest of the mess. But 2 big runs come in for the White Sox, and they take a 3-1 lead on the Angels as they battle for second place in the American League West, trying to chase the Oakland A's. So Rich Dotson will come out, and we'll get the final totals on Witt. Let's let the computer do that and save me the math. Witt is going to go 7 2/3. 7 hits, 3 runs, none of which were earned. 3 walks and 8 strikeouts. So he definitely deserved a better fate, but the fielding woes of the Angels really cost him. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Ryle, Jones, and Schofield due up for the Angels against Dotson, who went 1, 2, 3 in the 7th, so he keeps full endurance into the 8th. 6-8, and that's a 1-6 single. Anything else he lines to short, and that is a 6 right on the dot. So Ryle with the base hit. And here is Rupert Jones. 1 for 3 for Rupert. 410, and that is a fly ball center field X. Daryl Boston, a 3E4 in center field. 3 and a 6 is iffy. 3 and a 6 may work, it may not. 3 and a 6 does not work. It's a single 2 stars. That's an 11, and he is an E4. No problem there, but it's a single 2 stars, and all of a sudden here come the Angels right back. They have the tying runs on base with nobody out. And now the White Sox bullpen is starting to loosen. Bob James, their closer, is starting to loosen a bit for the White Sox. Here's Dick Schofield. Boy, he's an A bunter. You could try to bunt these runners, the tying runners, over into scoring position. Man, that seems to be the play to me. So we're gonna do that. I know I don't bunt much on this channel, but I just feel like this is the time and the place for it. So we're gonna have a bunt. First to Havoc, nothing going on. Corners. What are the corners going to do? Are they going to expect it? No, they're not. So he's going to keep his A bunt. I'm sorry, they are going to expect it because it's a 6. So they are going to drop him to a B bunter. That's a 4. But the bunt's only to move the runner from first to second. The runner on third will stay put. That's the way I'm playing it. All right, the 4 is going to go to the first baseman, Walker. Needs basically a 9 or less. That's a good bunt. That's a 7, so that's definitely a good sacrifice. So we'll just call it a sacrifice hit, 3 unassisted. It just tags him walking up the line and keeping an eye on the runner on third. But Rupert Jones will take second base. So it does put the tying runs in scoring position with 1 out. And now you got Bob Boone, but do you pinch hit for Bob Boone? I think you kind of have to. He's a 242 hitter, but I think you need some offense here. So Bob Boone will be called back. They do have a couple good hitters on the bench they've been sitting there waiting for, and that is Downing and DeSensei. So I believe they're going to Brian Downing off the bench. And Darryl Miller would come in and catch in the 9th inning. So Brian Downing, the pinch hitter. Here in the 8th, the White Sox infield is playing back because they have a 2-run lead. They'll give up the 1 run, but they don't want to give up 2 runs on an infield drawn-in play. So we go to the bench for Mr. Downing. In the real season, Downing was a 272 hitter with 29 home runs. On the replay, he's hitting 337 with 14 homers and 40 driven in. So the infield is back, trying to knock down anything and keep that tying run from coming to the plate on a base hit. That's a 6-6 for Dotson, and that is a line out to second base. Downing hit it hard, but right to Tim Hewlett. And boy, he had a chance and he hit it hard, but just didn't find the hole. And now they're 2 away, and it's up to Mark McLemore. He is 2 for 3, and he's only a 236 hitter, but he is 2 for 3. Man, do you pinch hit for him or do you let him swing away? He is 2 for 3 and a switch hitter. So we're going to go ahead and let him swing away, I believe. So to let Mark McLemore hit. It is a clutch situation. McLemore does lose a couple hits in the clutch. Dotson facing McLemore. 6-7, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. Boy, what a pitch by Dotson, and what a way to get out of that. 6th strikeout. And that's one. I guess that's one of the reasons why I don't normally bunt, because you're giving up an out doing that. But you're trying to get the runner in scoring position, so I thought strategically it would be the play, but Dice had other ideas. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it don't. All right, top of the 9th we go. Guillen, Boston, and Reedus. New catcher is going to be Darryl Miller. He will be the new catcher in place of Boone. So he's in there to catch, so I need to put him on the computer. Computer has prompted me to do that. Can't go on without a catcher. So Darryl Miller will do those duties. And Dwayne Bice, who got the final out of the 8th inning, will come back and pitch the 9th here against Ozzie Guillen. 5-6, and that is a strikeout for Bice. One away. Back to the top of the order for Darryl Boston. Bob James is ready in the bullpen for the White Sox if they wish to go that route, and they may do that. He is their closer. Here's Boston. 6-8, and that's a walk. So Bice gives up the base on balls. And let's see. Bice is a +1 on his hold. So that makes him a -2 on the hold. Boston would be a 1-11 if he got the lead. So I think they're going to hold him there. He will be held but won't go anywhere. And here is Gary Reedus. 3-4 for Reedus, and that's a pop out to second base. Fielded by McLemore, 2 down for that Andre Harold Baines. Harold Baines has reached base all 4 times. He's doubled twice, singled, and reached on an error. But he has been literally the bane of the California existence in this game. No relation to Conrad Bain. 1-8 of different strokes fame. 1-8 is a ground ball to short to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 9th, and I believe that'll be it for Dotson. They're going to go ahead and make the move for Bob James. Oops. Bob James took the loss in real world in pitching the bottom of the 10th, giving up a home run to Rupert Jones. But Rupert Jones is not scheduled to bat this inning, so they feel safe bringing in Bob James, their closer. Dotson's going to go 8 innings. So we'll go to the box score and get those numbers for Mr. Dotson. He will go 8 innings. He will give up 7 hits and a run. Walk 5, strike out 6. And Bob James is a +2 hold, so that makes it a +2. James on the real season, 4-6 with a 4.67 earned run average. With 10 saves. That was on the real season. On the replay to this point, he is 1-1 with a ZRA of 6.05 and 7 saves. So he's going for his 8th save, but his ERA in the replay is 6.05. So he has had some issues. 19 innings pitched, 23 hits, 7 walks, and 14 strikeouts. Scheduled up for the Angels, the top of the order, Pettis, White, and Joyner. They need 2 runs, and all these left on bases earlier on by the Angels, it looks like it's coming back to bite them. So Bob James trying to wrap things up here against Gary Pettis. Do you pinch hit for Pettis? 208 hitter, I think you kind of have to. If he was if they were down by 1, you'd wanted Pettis on there for his base running, but his run is not going to mean anything. You need somebody to get on base. So they are going to go to. They're going to bring in Gus Polidor to pinch hit. Polidor is a 263 hitter versus Pettis being a 208 hitter. So they're going to bring in Polidor to pinch hit for Pettis. Gus Polidor. So we'll bring him on in the computer. Pettis was 0 for 3, so need somebody to give him a jolt off the bench. And they're hoping Polidor can be that jolt. Again, he hit 263 with 2 home runs in the real season. On the replay, he's hitting 261 in 23 at-bats. So James to Polidor, bottom of the 9th. 1-7, and Polidor 1-3 single, but that's a 13, so he lines it to short. And that is 1 away. Devon White and Wally Joyner due up. So James not out of the woods yet. 6-8 switch hitter batting left is a 1-8 double. 9-20 is a single. That's a 1-out single for Devon White. He's aboard. And just for the heck of it, he will try to steal. I know he's not the tying run, but if you can get him to steal, that eliminates the ground ball double play. So it's very important to get him to second base. 3 through 6, he gets the lead. Oh, we got hopping dice here, so we got to re-roll that. And boy, that red die went everywhere. That thing's got like jumping beans in it or something. So we're going to redo this, see if we can get the lead. To 6, he gets the lead, so he's going to go 18, being held as a 16, but the +2 is back to the 18. So 1-18, and he's in there with the stolen base. And like I said, that takes away the double play. Doesn't seem like much, but it does take away a potential double play that Wally Joyner could ground into. But Joyner is the tying run at the plate. And Jack Howell, who homered back in the second, is on deck. 1-6 for Joyner, struck him out. A big strikeout there for James. And now it's all going to come down to Jack Howell. Jack Howell. Last chance. Last chance saloon for the Angels is Jack Howell. He did homer. If he does it again, we'll have a tie ball game. 2-10 he's going to ground it to second, and that's going to end it. There's your ball game. So all those left on bases during the game by the Angels come back to cost them. Angels won the real game 2-1, but in this game, it's the White Sox that turned the trick and win it 3-1. And a great performance by Rich Dotson. And the save will go to James. That is his 8th save of the replay. Dotson, the winner, will improve to 6-3. With the loser, will drop to 6-3. Bison, inning and a third of relief, a walk and a strikeout, nothing else. James, that one inning, did give up a hit, but nothing else, and he got a strikeout for his trouble. So the final line score, 3 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. 1 run, 8 hits, and 2 big errors by the Angels. That was the other thing, was the fielding was atrocious. And it was 2 errors made by usually reliable people. Wally Joyner and Dick Schofield are not exactly chopped liver in the field, but they made the 2 errors, and it cost them. So the White Sox take over sole possession of second place in the American League West as they defeat the California Angels by the score of 3-1. Player of the game, if you want to give it to Dotson, you could do that, or you could give it to Harold Baines. He was 3 for 5. With an RBI and a run scored. So take your pick there. But as we look in the standings now, the Angels dropped to 27-28, and moving to 26-25 is Chicago. They're now 2.5 games back of Oakland, 2 in the loss column, but Oakland will be playing Cleveland in the final game, and if Cleveland somehow beats Oakland, then the White Sox will pull to within 2 games of first place here in the beginning part of June. So there you have it. White Sox and Angels here from Anaheim. It is the White Sox downing the Angels by the score of 3-1. 3 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. 1 run, 8 hits, and 2 errors. Just for kicks and giggles, left on base for the Angels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They left 12 runners on base. I think they look no further than the 12 left on base. So fundamentals, leaving guys on base and making errors, well, that's going to get you many, many times. So that's going to do it from here on this June the 6th, 1987 date. Strat-O-Matic 1987. I will come back this afternoon. There will be a Three Stooges sighting, as there will be a History Maker baseball game with the Ticonderoga Stooges against the Macon Waves. Game 2 of that series to get that Baseball America set, or season underway, I should say. And then tomorrow we will have the first game in the 2020 Demolition League. The league has already been set up in Action PC Baseball. got the 25-man rosters set up. I've got the schedule all set up, and everything is raring and ready to go. Got my direct entry all set up in Action PC to score the games. And, well, there you go, Jimmy. There you go. No, Dave, I'm not going to do because I'm doing the Demolition League, and that's going to have pitchers hitting, so I'm not going to do the 87 games anymore. Just don't have time for it. There's too many other things that are going on. I will be sending the games along in the Strat computer, and we will have a All-Star game, and it will be a World Series at the end, but I'm pretty much going to stick to just the American League because I just don't have time. I got too many other things going on. I got 3 projects going on, and 2 of them are major projects that require, many games. So this one's going to require about 1,100 games. The Demolition League is going to be 270 games, and the one for History Maker is going to be like 40-something games. So that's a lot to try to play. So I would like to, but I really just don't have time to do it. I may pick one once in a while if there's a really good matchup, but as a weekly thing, no, it's not going to happen. I might pull it out and do it once in a blue moon, just to, if there's an excellent matchup to show. But other than that, no, that's kind of been pushed to the side because of all these other things that are going on. If you have not seen the video that I did, the selection show on the Demolition League, you can certainly tune into that. There's still time to do that before the actual things are revealed tomorrow. I will be doing a separate video probably tonight, I'm thinking, to introduce the league. After the selection show has already been done, I will introduce the league, I will show the 25-man rosters and show the schedule and get everything all ready for tomorrow afternoon's game 1. So you still have time to go check out that selection show video. The thumbnail for that is a big wheel, so it's easy to see, easy to spot. Can't miss it. And it was all random, so I had no pull in the matter. It was just whatever the wheel said, that's what we did. And it's a 2020 set, so I don't even know that much about that season. I don't know who was good and who was bad. So I just let the chips fall where they may, and whatever the spinning wheel picked, that's what we went with. Good, bad, or indifferent, that's what we go with. So now you certainly don't, Jimmy. You certainly don't. That other channel, all you see is one project over and over and over. And it's like hockey with baseball, where everybody makes the playoffs. But that's the way he wants to run it, and there's nothing wrong with that. He enjoys it, and other people enjoy watching it, so more power to him. Nothing but good things to pass along to Robert. I know we sometimes kind of jokingly dig at each other. It's all in fun, but he has his niche, and that's what he's good at. I mean, he's perfected it pretty much. If you want to say perfected, he's come about as close to perfecting as you can get. I mean, he's got that thing nailed down how he likes to do that. So nothing but the best for Robert. He's definitely one of the stalwarts in the community. So, and he's definitely inside pitch man all the way. He likes this inside pitch advance that's out there now. I personally have no interest in it. Don't have time for it. I like the original inside pitch. If I want to play inside pitch, I'll just do that. I've already got too much money invested everywhere else in other games, so I don't feel the need to go out and buy a brand new game when I've already got the original. That's just my opinion, but other people have different opinions. But anyway, that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great day, great Friday. Look forward to the weekend. I know it kind of feels like yesterday was a Saturday for a lot of people because of the holiday and everything, but everything will be back to normal on Monday, I assume. So anyway, this afternoon around 1 o'clock, maybe, it depends on if Uncle Ron is on. I might push it back a little bit. I don't want to interfere with what he's doing, but sometime this afternoon will be the Ticonderoga Stooges and History Maker Baseball. And then roughly around noon tomorrow will be the opening day game in the Demolition League. I don't even know who I'm going to pick yet. I've got the schedule, but I don't know who on the schedule I want to pick yet. So I might do like I do this one and take the most eastern city. That's the home team and go with that. I'm not sure. But anyway, hope you all found some enjoyment in this Strat-O-Matic replay. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you guys down the road.